Video is to show you the new sound settings for the latest version of Zoom. This upgrade happened in the last few days, so do make sure you have the latest version of Zoom available. Show you which one it is. I think I can show you here. Let me have a quick look. Upgrade. So it's the 5.2.3. The release was a couple of days ago. It's really important that if you're joining a Zoom choir session or a lesson of any sort that you set these sounds up if you have a computer, because it will make your sound quality better. Not only what you can hear, but also what we can hear of you as well. One caveat is I'm going to show you all this on a computer. I'm using a Mac, but this would work on a laptop or a PC as well. If you are on an iPad, tablet or phone, I'm not quite sure how you set it up, but it should be something similar. So first I'll show you the normal way of doing it, then I'll show you how to do it if you're actually in a meeting. So the normal way of doing it, when you're on a computer, have Zoom loaded up, click on the little preferences, the settings, the cog up here, and this display appears, the settings. You want to click down to audio, and your settings will look something like this. Let me just turn this all off. This is what your settings will normally look like. So when you go into Zoom, if you haven't already set it up, your settings, your audio settings will look like this. You'll have this line dancing across here. This is showing your input levels. This is showing you how Zoom is hearing you. And the closer it is to the right, the louder it is. And when it's down here, it's very quiet. The first thing you must do is turn off automatically adjust microphone volume, because what will happen if that is switched on, as it was, Zoom will constantly adjust your volume as if you are speaking, not as if you are singing. And it will also make your volume very, very loud for everybody else in the meeting. What you need to do is, after you've turned that off, you're going to use this slider, and you're going to move this slider that's really loud, that's really quiet, and you're going to sing into your computer as you would usually do, and watch how the lights dance. If you notice the lights hitting this very end here, the far right hand side, you need to turn this slider down. If you notice that it's only coming up to about the first few lights, you need to turn it up. So what you're aiming for is for it to be around about here and not go any further than about 3/4. That'll be absolutely spot on. That's one of the reasons why in meetings and in rehearsals I appear very quiet. It's because I have my sound set up perfectly. Unfortunately, because there are other people in the meeting that don't, everyone turns their device down because they hear everybody as loud. And then when I come online with the correct settings, I appear really quiet and you have to turn your devices up. So if we can all set it so we're about 3/4, we will, it'll be a lot more streamlined, the rehearsals and meetings. So turn that off and set this so your volume is about 3/4. The next thing, click on Advance, and it brings up this screen. Now, what we need is this function here, Show in Meeting option to enable audio original sound from microphone. You're going to turn that on. And that brings up another 3. If these are not already ticked, tick them. So have them ticked. So to explain that screen again, when you come to this screen through Advanced, so I've gone Audio, Advanced, after I've done the microphone, turn this setting on. You can ignore this, and then make sure these 3 are set. And that way, the bottom one actually, the stereo, is optional. If you find that you get a bit of dropout on Zoom because of an unstable internet, you can turn that off. But those 2 are absolutely essential. You'll hear me better, you'll hear the piano better, and we'll be able to hear you better. After you've done that, you're ready to go. You only need to do this once on each device you're going to use. So if you have a second device that you also use, you'll need to do it on that as well. But after you've done that, you'll notice if I come out of this, for example, and then go back in, go to audio, it's already done because I've already done it once. You only need to do that once. Right. When you're in a meeting, if I go to new meeting and I set one up, this will just take a few seconds to load. While we're waiting on that, here we go. I'm going to turn my camera on so you can see me. Oops, wrong camera. Just turn cameras. There we go. And I'm going to exit full screen as well. Here I am. Right, so when you're in a meeting, as I am now, you can see the meeting is on. Because we turned on that original sound function, this will have appeared. Turn on original sound. And when you are actually joining a meeting, and you do need to do this every time you use Zoom, you need to turn this, press this button to turn on original sound. And you can tell when it's on. If I click it, watch what happens. It changes to turn off original sound. Now, it's a bit of a backwards way of thinking. If it says turn off original sound, that must mean that original sound is on. So at the moment, with it saying that, original sound is on. If I click it again, Now original sound is off because it clearly says turn on original sound. It's written backwards. It's one of the features of Zoom I absolutely hate because it's confusing. So make sure that is on. You do need to do that each time you come into a meeting. Now, let's say that you are in a meeting and you've forgotten to set all those preferences up before. You can actually do it while you are in a meeting as well, without going through to that settings. What you need to do is go down to the microphone button here, the mute button, and don't press the mute button, press the little menu beside it. Ignore all of this and click audio settings. I'll just show you that again. If I click off, go down to the bottom here, a little arrow up, audio settings, and you're back through to here. And notice what happens. See the original sound. If I go through and turn that off, watch up the top there. See the way it disappears? That disappears and I can't access it anymore. So if you haven't got that on, it's probably a sign that you haven't clicked that in the settings. So there's two ways of doing it. You can do it through the main Zoom opening menu, or you can do it through here. Hope that helps. I will talk about this a bit more in rehearsal. It is pretty essential that you do it if you're able to on your device, because otherwise you're likely to come through really loud, which causes everyone else to turn their volume down, and then I appear quiet. It will also mean that you'll get the best experience, because Zoom has included this new feature that I've just turned on for musicians and for music, because Zoom was originally designed for speech only. So these new features should make things, if I just turn it on, should make things a lot better for us. Okay, hope that helps. See you in rehearsal.